Welcome to my life. I'm going to show you my life story. Okay, so my life began on September 22nd, 1995. I was the first born to my parents Rob and Pam, and later on they had a kid named Ethan, and even later a kid named Sylvia. Anyways, when I was born, they thought I was going to play guitar and ride a skateboard when I got older. If I could figure out how to play the darn thing, that would be true, but recently I have taken up skateboarding. So when I was born, I honestly don't remember the first 5 years of my life. But what I do remember is that we moved from my hometown to Illinois to a town in New Jersey when I was 2. My brother popped out at some point and we were, brothers. So when we moved to New Jersey, we were right next to Newark, so we were like 30 minutes from the Twin Towers when they fell in 2001. Actually, our TV stations, all 6 of them, they came from the towers. We were friends with all of our neighbors and we used to play spies with super spy equipment, and I wanted to be a secret agent when I grew up at that point. Our neighbors, the Showers, had 3 kids whom were all adopted from the same family, but at different times. The youngest was about a year younger than me, and we used to get into a lot of trouble. One time we painted the swing set with the paint from a mini paint set, and I got grounded. That was the only time I ever got grounded up until last year for my chemistry grades. No technology for a weekend. Oh, the horror! Me and my brother shared a room in New Jersey. I begged my mother to let him be in my room when he was very little. Sometimes I wonder why. Nah, I'm kidding. Love me, little bro. He's pretty annoying, though. When I was 5 years old, whenever my dad had a giant Cinderblock video camera on, I would always sit next to him and stare into the lens. I guess I was a natural from birth. I used to write books when I was little, and they were like little 10-page books with stick figures and lots of guns and boob traps and such. And I have no idea where any of those went, but my brother then decided to do the same thing, kind of like with videos. When I was little, I loved sporting a mushroom top hairdo. Why? Then my sister was born. Yay! I had just gotten to no screaming children in the house. Well, maybe. Right after my sister had her first birthday party, we moved to Ohio. In Ohio, we owned 10 acres, including a huge pond, and 5 outside buildings, including a barn, a chicken coop, and 2 storage buildings, where I think they used to keep sheep or chickens. Our house looked a little bit like the White House, and we were on a hill. We actually sled down it all the time in the winter. If we were still living there today, I may have taken over one of the storage buildings for a film studio. I never officially had a room there. I was also really messy, so anyone that came through the garage, they saw my mess, and they complained about it. I didn't have an official room until we moved back to Illinois 4 years later. We had 3 or 4 fireplaces / wood stoves in the house and 4 bathrooms. Yeah, I got real creative there. I actually once made a life-size K'NEX robot. By the way, I look totally disgusting. I wore whatever really, and I didn't really care what I looked like. Meh. I started Boy Scouts and band when I was in Ohio, which I later quit at the same time when I finished year 9. I played alto saxophone. It was some vintage 60s or 70s saxophone that was worth about $15,000 or more, but we got it for about $200 at a garage sale. I went to all the Boy Scout meetings and all the camps. That was my fun, but I could never do that today because of my hair. And summer camp, I didn't shower for a week. And trust me, if I would be there today, there would definitely be changes. I also met my first girlfriend, or what a 5th grader would consider to be. We stayed together for a solid 2 years, and we really went everywhere. I've been single since then, but we're still friends. The move is what broke us up pretty much. I remember once my brother tried to catch a fish in the pond without a pole. That worked out well. When I was 12, we moved back to Illinois, and that's where I am now. I started 8th grade here, yes, at 12 years old. I turned 13 a month into school. That also means that I'll be just 17 when I start college. I still had no consciousness of what was going on in 8th grade, and I decided to start wearing name brand clothes. In fact, you can see in my first video I'm wearing an Aeropostale American Eagle tee. I just wanted to seem more normal. I also wore my hair like the Fonz in those days. Then I started high school. And yes, I still wore the tees that didn't fit me, along with Aeropostale and jeans that had rips that were made into them. It was the style. I've had normal classes all high school, and I only failed 1 class, chemistry, which I am taking now as a senior. I got pretty close to failing in Algebra 2, but Mr. Kiss, since it was his last year teaching, he passed over half the class in the finals, so I passed the class. Woohoo! Mr. Kiss once drilled a hole into a student's book, because he thought it was the last year that they were having those books. And another time a student announced that she was missing a page in her book, so he ripped the page out of an extra book and gave it to her. Oh, the times we had. Now, sophomore year, it was boring once again. I got a haircut right before school that year, and that was the last time I got a haircut. August 15th, 2010. In December, I got my iPod Touch, which would later lead to my first video in April. Oh, I forgot, at the end of my freshman year, I got my first Van Halen t-shirt, and I started listening to rock music over the summer. I listened to my music so loud that my dad said several times that if I didn't turn the music down, then I would be deaf by the time I was 16 years old. I listened. The first song I was attracted to was Humans Being by Van Halen. Over the next 3 years, I would expand my music knowledge and full rock tee wardrobe, and it was the best choice ever. In January of 2011, I wanted to start a rock band and also wanted to be lead singer. I wanted to take 4 years of singing school and start a band. The only problem is, I can't sing. Not even a little. I can't even play guitar. So there went my dream. I actually have a few song lyrics I've written, but never have gotten around to them. I also started watching YouTube videos at this time. I would stay in my room all day and just watch and watch and watch. I think I watched every episode of That 70s Show, and then after that I got bored and made my first YouTube video in April 2011. I started to call myself Grant Casual instead of my real name Grant Baumgartner. That's pronounced Baumgartner, and no, we did not bomb gardens. I had no intentions at first, and everyone loved my first video. Everyone wanted me to make one the next day, so me being the noob I was, I made one the next day. Then I pretty much took a 1.5 month break and made a video the last day of school. Then I made a video every 6 days in the summer until my computer broke. I started making videos again in August of my junior year, and I wasn't very good at making YouTube videos until April of last year. That's when YouTube changed the design. I wanted to go to college for film even as early as July of 2011. I had no idea how to even make a video at that point, but somehow, some way, it worked out. By senior year, I was really cooking. I hit 500 subscribers at the start of the school year, and had pies thrown in my face to celebrate the occasion. I started getting busy, getting better at making videos, and along the way I discovered I could get into college making videos. So I sent the School of the Art Institute of Chicago a fancy film portfolio, and they accepted me to their school and even gave me a big fat scholarship for it. And that's pretty much where I am now. I'm still making videos. I got my YouTube partnership the last day of 2012, and then I got my full screen partnership at the beginning of March, and that's about it. I'm still growing my hair out, still making videos, making it through the last few days of school until I graduate. What's next? I have no idea. Whatever comes, comes, and if it doesn't come, then it wasn't meant to be. YouTube has not only made me popular, but has given me the courage that I can do anything. And me being the perfect example for someone following their dreams, I see no reason as to why you can't do it too. Remember, you were born an original, so don't die a copy. Thank you and good night.